Welcome to Stonk Insights, your one-stop shop for stock and crypto analysis and discovery. And today's video is going to be a little bit different, as I'll be reacting to a 2020 prediction from Chamath Palihapitiya and a discussion he had with friends regarding certain 2020 predictions as far as business, politics, science, tech, and crypto go. I picked this particular segment because it does have something significant to do with crypto, and I think Chamath Palihapitiya has some significant insight with crypto, because if none of you out there knew, he is a big Bitcoin bull. In 2018, he was most famously stating that he had allocated 1% of his wealth towards Bitcoin when Bitcoin was $100 per coin. Seeing that Chamath is a billionaire, you can do the math and see that he has a massive holding of Bitcoin. So with that said, he does have a lot to say regarding cryptocurrency. And I think this snippet that I selected here is very, very telling, and it can have potentials on seeing a narrative for 2022. Now, what I mean by narrative, well, basically I mean that there may be potential from listening to what he has to say, as he does have some potential of knowing these things before they happen and taking from that and making your own thesis. But without further ado, let's get into this clip. If you're new here, I do talk about stock, I talk about crypto, so if any of those subjects interest you, hit that subscribe button, like this video if you like this video. It does help me out. I don't know anything about that YouTube algorithm. It does help me out, and I do appreciate it. So let's get right into reviewing this.
My biggest business loser for 2022 is Visa and Mastercard and traditional payment rails and the entire ecosystem around it. So
I'm going to be stopping this a lot, but I hope you just heard that. That was a huge statement. Mr. Palihapitiya stated that his biggest loser as far as business for 2022 is going to be Visa and Mastercard and more traditional payrails in a centralized fashion. So this is a bombshell. I don't know if a lot of you've seen this, but this is very, very telling of how 2022 is going to play out. But let's just listen to more of what he has to say.
So I think that this is the year you can put on what probably will be the most profitable spread trade of my lifetime, which is to be short these companies, and that anybody that basically lives off of this 2 or 3% tax, and be long well thought out Web3 crypto projects that are rebuilding payments infrastructure in a completely decentralized way.
What does that mean? Mr. Palihapitiya is predicting for 2022 that Visa, MasterCard, and these centralized systems are going to be, they met their top. They've peaked, and now that 2 to 3% that they're charging is no longer favorable for us retail investors, and frankly for big time corporations like what he has. Now with the advent of stable coins and these new and innovative payrail systems, he is predicting that this is going to be a huge interruption with Visa, MasterCard, and the likes.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that what you say won't also happen, both that Stripe will have an incredible IPO and that a lot of these scammy crypto projects will go to zero. However, if you read the white papers of these crypto projects and you systematically put together a framework, I think you can be long those and you can be short Visa, MasterCard, because I think this is their peak market cap.
This is a bombshell. So he believes that 2021 was the peak for Visa and MasterCard. We're talking about $1 trillion worth of money movement per month, per day. We're talking about massive players in the payroll systems. And he's stating that the disruption from the decentralized market may interrupt these massive players. This is huge.
And for those of you who don't know, fading and sports betting, taking the opposite side of a bet, taking the opposite team, I guess.
Man, Visa's market cap is $500 billion, huh? Incredible.
It's a completely contrived duopoly that doesn't need to exist.
And what does Visa mean to a young person?
And MasterCard's almost $400 billion, so they're $1 trillion combined market cap.
So you see that $1 trillion combined, and Chamath is stating that this is no longer going to be, this is a contrived idea, that now it's too late to start charging people 2 to 3% on the money that they already own.
By the way,
That's
you have to understand that the canary in the coal mine here is pretty significant. The most important thing is Amazon, earlier this year, Nick, maybe you can post this, decided to just shut Visa off in the UK.
And, you know, this is something that I don't cover the news here on this channel, you know, per se, but yeah, this is newsworthy, you know. This is a timeless news article stating that Amazon, one of the biggest companies ever, stopped accepting Visa payments that were issued from the UK. So this is a huge matter, okay? Visa says it is trying to resolve the matter so customers can continue using its cards after a January 19th deadline. But why would Amazon do that? You know, this is one of the biggest retailers in the world. You know, to be able to claim to stop, you know, credit cards. Well, let's just hear what Chamath has to say.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Amazon is not going to do something like that, in my opinion, unless it's a test of what they can do all around the world. And again, going back to this idea of arming the rebels, there really is no need today for all of these small businesses to sit on top of Visa, MasterCard, and Amex rails. It's unnecessary. And so it'll probably get developed in the developing world first. This is why I think, you know, focusing in markets like Nigeria, to me, are way more exciting than talking about these, you know, these fading Western European countries. Who cares?
This is, and that's a powerful statement as well. So, you know, it is these new and innovative payrail systems, decentralized ones. They get tested in these third world countries where, frankly, they don't have the infrastructure for a Visa or a MasterCard. So they get tested out in these third world countries, you know, the ones that are up and coming. And if they work, that's when they get introduced to us.
Right.
This is where this stuff will happen. It's not to say that those other companies can't, trundle along for a while. But when I say, you know, we'll look back in 10 years and their market caps will be materially lower, anybody in those traditional infrastructure and rails versus anybody in this new infrastructure and rails it will look like a no-brainer.
Do you consider the buy now, pay later companies like Affirm and Upstart?
Now, before we get into the buy now, pay later section, you know, this is something that we need to take into consideration. We're on a cusp where we can invest in these new and innovative pay rails and be ahead of even the Visa and the MasterCards. So that, and we're talking about trillions of dollars of volume here.
Or whatever. I don't know if Upstart fits in that category, but some of these buy now, pay later businesses as being the alternative to the traditional payment networks, or do you think that it's a different business?
No, right now, I think what buy now, pay later is a rate arbitrage.
Right.
When, as you said earlier, rates are very, very low, so the cost of capital is low. But it again starts to habituate the consumer experience to, I don't need to pay these usurious rates to these 3 credit card companies to facilitate a transaction of money that I already have or money that I'm good for.
And that's the thing there, you know, this is talking about your money, the money that you own. And, you know, these companies, the Visa and MasterCards, you know, they do try to keep the tax low. For when I say tax, that's the amount that they charge. But still, 2 to 3% per year, they're making a killing.
That's the big idea, right? And so when you translate that into Web3 in a good project or a good series of projects, you're not going to need these companies. And so it's going to, I think, eviscerate trillions of dollars of market cap.
Well, not to mention you also
companies.
have in between these two, Venmo and Cash App, which are not crypto, but they certainly as brands mean more to young people than Visa and MasterCard.
Yeah, do you think Block, what used to be called Square, is a good pair trade against Visa and MasterCard in this context?
Yeah, I like it.
You know, I think that starts to get closer to the truth. My perspective is you can kind of short anybody who's public, because anybody who's public can really only be public or will go public because they feast off of this artificial 2 or 3% transaction fee.
And you see that, you know, this is mind blowing, you know. So he's stating that anyone who's connected to a centralized payrail is going to be shunned. And I really want to get to, you know, the time frame that he talks about this is going to be happening. This is all, you know, a lot to be taken in, you know. The narrative that he sees in 2022 is that Visa and MasterCard, these behemoths, are going to fall in comparison to these decentralized Payrails. And after we get done reviewing this clip, we're going to actually look at a few decentralized Payrails so you can just get an idea of what he's talking about. Now, none of this is financial advice, especially the part that I'm showing. This is just an idea of what Payrails are. Okay.
Everybody does. The companies you want to be long are those private companies in crypto that you can read the white papers of, whose protocols have utility, and who's building some element of infrastructure that replaces a traditional business.
And the Payrail systems that we're going to be looking at, this is what they're actively trying to do. They're actively trying to rebuild and trying to, in a decentralized way, replace these traditional Payrail systems.
Last point on this is not one where I think this disruption happens slow. I think it happens swiftly.
How swiftly?
Swiftly being 5 to 10 years?
No, like in a year.
Yeah, Chamath's point is really interesting.
Bombshell. He's stating it. I mean, you got to pay attention. He's stating that he believes that this is going to happen in a year. This is an extremely fast timeline. He's stating that these Payrails are going to make these decentralized Payrails are going to disrupt decentralized Payrails, being the biggest ones, Visa and Mastercard. And he specifically stated in this clip that he would be looking towards shorting Visa and Mastercard in a spread scenario. I'm not sure if he's already done that or not, but this is just very telling about the state of decentralized finance and how far it has moved in the last 5 to 10 years. Now, as promised, like I said, we're going to be just quickly looking over a few different types of Payrails, starting with Stellar Lumens here. Okay, they have a market cap of $7.4 billion, current price of 29 cents. They've seen an all-time high of about 80 cents. So they do have some, depending on if you're bullish on this or not, do have some room to grow. And just about Stellar Lumens, Stellar's cryptocurrency, the Stellar Lumen XLM, powers the Stellar payment network. Stellar aims to connect banks, payment systems, and individuals quickly and reliably. Next up, we have AMP here. So we take a look at AMP. They have a $2.1 billion market cap. They're sitting at about 5 cents right now. It had an all-time high of 12 cents. So if you're bullish on that, they may have some room to grow. And about AMP, AMP is an Ethereum token that aims to collateralize payments on a Flexa network, making them instant and secure. If a BTC or ETH payment fails due to unconfirmed or long transaction times, the AMP collateral can instead be liquidated to cover losses while the vendor receives payment in fiat, potentially providing greater assurance to both parties. Next up, we have COTI here. So COTI has a market cap of $335 million. So this is a lower market cap. So, this is no financial advice, but if you're looking for a coin with room to grow, as far as the other two Payrails we just looked at, COTI may be your pick. And just a little bit about COTI. COTI utilizes a protocol that optimizes for creating decentralized payment networks and stablecoins. COTI uses Trust Chain, a decentralized ledger that can process over 100,000 transactions per second. So as you see with these decentralized Payrails, you're up in the transaction speeds per second, which is going to sooner or later catch up with the Visa and Mastercard payment transactions. Next up, we have Alchemy Pay. So Alchemy Pay, this is the lowest market cap of all that we're looking at today. It has a market cap of $237 million. So, this may or may not have a lot more room to grow. We do see that it did have a huge run up just shortly, not too long ago in July. Just a little bit about Alchemy. Alchemy Pay is an Ethereum token that powers Alchemy Pay, a platform that enables payments using a wide variety of fiat and cryptocurrencies. Fees are paid using the ACH token, and users can earn ACH rewards for purchasing. And lastly, and definitely not least, we have XRP with a market cap of $39.8 billion. So this is the highest market cap of the coins we're looking at. Now we see here this year it had seen a high of $1.84. XRP has been out a little bit longer. So we look at the all-time high, we see is a top $3. So, if you're bullish or not on XRP, you could be potentially aiming for that $3 mark. So just a little bit about XRP. XRP is a cryptocurrency used by the Ripple payment network. Built for enterprise use, XRP aims to be a fast, cost-efficient cryptocurrency for cross-border payments. Now, I can't talk about XRP without bringing up this point here. So, unfortunately, XRP at this time is in some legal ramifications with the SEC. However, I do have it on speculation that this legal matter is supposed to be wrapped up sometime in April. Not financial advice, may not happen in April, but it is something that you can keep your eye on if you are bullish on XRP. And that's the video for you guys today. So what do you guys think? What do you think about what Chamath Palihapitiya stated? Do you believe that the narrative for 2022 is going to be these big behemoths of payroll systems on a centralized front are going to succumb to the decentralized payroll systems that are up and coming? Whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comments down below. Myself, I am not an expert on Payrails. I will be doing a little bit more research into it, because when a person like Chamath Palihapitiya states something like that, do have to listen to it, and it may be a story of 2022. But whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.